niggas on lockdown and all my niggas on the streets. This that shit goes out to my niggas on lockdown and all my niggas on the streets. This that shit goes out to my niggas on lockdown and all my niggas on the streets. This my shit goes out to my niggas on lockdown and my niggas.
Yo, welcome to the Filthy Games podcast, episode 3. This is a general topic. This is about what's going on in the world right now, racism. My name's Chris.
I'm 3D God, back again.
And then we...
Why you keep doing this? It's Jamzy, man. Flip it up.
Do you know what? Roll on.
AKA the Sinister One. AKA Slumdog Lord X. AKA Mr. Sinister.
Yep.
Appropriate for these dark times we're living in right now. You don't bring me on the most deep topic that you can find right now.
Hold on, but did it...
This is the one you wanted to talk about. You don't want to talk about no games. You want to talk about the destruction of mankind. End of civilization as we know it. That is speaking of that. Who saw the Bojack Horseman Police Academy 6 get clotheslined off the... Hey, alright, I was looking like slapstick. He was looking quite peak. And did you see the aftermath of him laid out on the floor?
Yeah, he was slumped.
He was done. And the horse was just gone. He thought he was Conan the Barbarian. I don't know why that thing just charge at a crowd. Is that what happened? Control and literally got collapsed. Is that what happened? Charge at a crowd? Yeah, did you see it? He got left the Captain Crunch stance, like that was man's legs were doing spaghetti. Like, he looked finished, and his face, I zoomed in on his face, bruh. Just all the sonic rings, bruh, he was done. You know what that reminded me of? Do you remember the was it one of the Eastern European Prime Ministers who got put in the dustbin? Make sure you get the that JPEG and put it in the YouTube, but yeah, he was looking like that. You know, this is one of the things I wanted to mention as well. Like, we've now reached a point in society where people are just journaling everything. Everyone's the Mad Max era. We've been talking about from way back, from Chinatown days, from Filthy Fridays, Mad Max era is now here, isn't it? Even our dear officer, his demise was photographed. Like, he's lying on the floor on his back, like he's not up. He's down for the count. And people are just photographing him.
Do you know what the worst thing about that whole situation is, yeah? When the horse ran off, it clattered someone else.
Yeah. Bro, that's what's innocent check though. Innocent bystanders are getting clapped by this horse. That was a chest check from the horse boy. Like, he should get a big check though. He's minded. Well, listen, if we're gonna be used like this lockdown very long, people shouldn't be risking themselves. Really and truly. So him getting clapped by the horses, boy, it's peak for him. It shouldn't have happened, but I don't know, man. You know, we're at a stage, like, this is part of the problem with the world. We're at a stage where people have forgotten what taking a risk really is. Like, it's not only in the trap where you take risks, man. Leaving the house is a risk. And boy, he got turned into roadkill. Like, goddamn. Well, let's hopefully allow it. Exactly. Or is it unlimited exercise? So exactly. So you can, that's true. So you can use your unlimited exercise if you so choose to.
True.
Just so happens that he was in central London where there's a wild horse on the loose, and it gored him and then it took him.
Do you know what though? I don't know if you can get like compensation for that, you know, because you shouldn't really be outside your yard.
No, but he said free exercise. If you use your right to use free exercise, that means you can technically go out. Technically, if I'm being deep about this lockdown is over. Once he said free exercise, you can do as much exercise as you want. That's the lockdown finished.
True.
So,
that is true.
The thing was, Illy approved the lockdown because he was getting corn for letting his boy, Mr. Dominic Cummings, run up and down London, UK City, and spread the corona with his wife. But do you think that's the case? I think he doesn't care. I don't think he cares about what other people think. He will let his boys do whatever they want. And if people complain, people like us, normal public people, if they complain, he doesn't care. Because people get Boris was on his back as well. He's trying to enjoy the leftover of life, you know. He's not trying to tell people what to do. He wants to enjoy the last days Massive last day. You know what? Boris recovered from Corona and he's thinking he's invincible now. So he's like,
Literally, that's what it is.
Stay alert, roll safe, unlimited exercise, 6 in the group, but you know we're still clapping
And
for NHS.
that's
What does stay alert even mean in regards?
Bro, you see what happened to the man in the horse?
Yeah, but that's.
Could it be the gore? Oh, he's got him in his sights. Gore!
Bro, man, that's
These are thoroughbred. These are thoroughbred horses. Have you seen the dung they lay on the streets for me to ride my bicycle? These are the cream of the crop, just running into people. He lives in Forest. Yeah. After having near-death experience, he's trying to let everyone live their life to their fullest, you know, and he's with the rides.
That's it. But let's talk about it. Let's digest.
hold on. Before we move on to that topic, 2 seconds.
Hey, could it be the gore? Oh, he's got him in his sights. Gore!
I ain't gonna lie, it's in full face. We don't know if this guy is fucked or not, to be honest.
Bro, but sorry. I have no apology.
He's like to unlimited no mercy. If you want to choose to do unlimited exercise where there's riots happening or like there's heated situations taking place where there's wild horses running about.
Oh, who are you talking about? I was talking about the officer who got clapped.
Oh no, I was talking about the rest of the train.
Conan the Barbarian doing the golden axe.
He was actually doing a golden.
To be fair though, the guy who got clattered, he could be working. You don't even know. He could be just trying to get back home.
I feel sorry for him or her. It looked like that person had the umbrella. Like it just looked like a normal civilian.
Yeah.
You know, normal NPC just got clapped for no reason.
Yep.
This is the thing, man. But how are you? Lot ain't doing no protesting or anything like that.
Can I talk about that, Chris? You know, is this my con? Is this my con me?
I got a few questions for people, but yeah, go ahead. What was you gonna say?
Alright, cool. So, protesting, yeah? That this started, I guess, this week. So earlier this week, obviously, it happened previously back in America or Minneapolis, and then other states followed. So over here, we're just, how can I say it? I don't want to say we're following the trend, but, you know, it's a big deal. But the fact that we've kind of taken the steps to say, okay, look, we're going to be doing protest this day. It doesn't seem like there was any organization whatsoever. This is just Black Lives Matter. That's it. Black Lives Matter. That's all we're doing. There's nothing in regards to, okay, is it going to be peaceful? Is it going to be a chaotic one? It doesn't seem like there was any structure from what I saw in it. So
people rushed outside first and foremost, and then decided we're protesting.
that's it. But it's like there's just no structure to these protests. It's like, okay, what's the outcome? You guys want to be heard? Okay, we can hear you. All the media attention is on you. So what now? What are you going to do with that? And for that reason, I couldn't get involved. I'm not an activist anyway. I've never been an activist. So for that reason,
what is the right way to protest, though? Really, someone that's a question someone asked me. Like, what is the right way to in this situation? What would be the right way to protest?
I think
there are some people who are actually doing it the right way, just protest.
that's the thing. There's some people.
People are going too ham with it.
There's some people, yeah, that are protesting correctly, but there's some people who are obviously just want to get out of the house, and
Yeah, but
they.
what I'm asking is, what in this situation, what is the right way? Is it the right way to be angry at the people who you think are getting onto you? Like in this case, it would be the police.
I think I can understand you being angry, yeah, but there's a way of doing things without violence.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the mistake we're making is we forget what happens to people in crowds. Like we've all come off road in some way or form or shape, and we forget, like, when you're rolling around with 10 men, like, it becomes a very different mindset from when you're running out by yourself. Like, I wouldn't even say, like, this so-called protest, it's not just one thing. That's the problem. Like, we can say it's Black Lives Matter, but it's really not. It's a combination of multiple things. We've got a power struggle, we've got the government, people in authority versus people not in authority. Because when you look at it, there's a lot of white people and Asian groups like Antifa and all of these groups. They're outside partaking in the chaos. You've got racism struggle, which is also going on Twitter. What else have you got?
Brutality, police brutality.
You've got the class struggle too, like because we've got a health crisis going on right now. We've also got an economic crisis. Like there's a lot of places the pain is coming from, and that's I think the main reason why. As soon as everyone steps outside and they're feeling the pain, they're just expressing it now.
Let me ask you a question then. Yeah, if Corona wasn't here, do you think so many people would be protesting?
No.
What do you mean if it wasn't here?
If it wasn't here, do you think people would be coming out of the house to do this protest?
Because if you think about it,
You've got time on the hands now.
yeah.
So you're saying people are using it as a vehicle, as an excuse to come outside the house.
Not as an excuse, but people, as Louie was mentioning, people are tired, isn't it? People, they're frustrated and they want to vent it in some fashion.
All right, but
so,
if
protesting is the option.
If that's the case, then if we was all working right now, are you telling me people who are in job would be outside? They'll not do their job, come outside just to protest.
Yeah, exactly.
They wouldn't do that.
Why not?
I don't think they would.
No, of course they would.
No, it wouldn't be the same numbers. People would still do it, but the thing where I think it makes a difference is because people. I would say this goes back all the way to like 09. The same thing, like
I said 09.
like I've got the millennium eyes, so I can land this from a different angle. So, like from 09, we knew the government wasn't for us. So like you had our era, my era basically, the kids who were getting ready to go to uni. We just started year 10 or so, and we just come into a conservative government after Labour all our lives basically, and we find out the hard way that if you're not from money, you don't get help the same way. We went into the austerity. The austerity is what started this. The whole austerity measures is what led to Brexit. People frustrated, and Brexit was the start of the real racism.
Are you being serious? The real racism?
Yes.
I said the
upright. White people disliking different types of white people. That is when other people of color need to be worried.
Do you know what?
People were saying.
I see what Louis is trying to say, but what what my personal opinion is, I think racism came out more from Brexit because people thought, Caucasian people thought that a lot of us would have to disperse from this country. But obviously that was never going to happen.
No, it wasn't just that. It was the campaign at the time. There was a lot of propaganda going around regarding the NHS.
Yeah,
so
that was the big thing.
Say,
and this goes back to 09 where we were lied to. The banks, the governments were saying like we're not going to bail out people who were silly with our money, the people who misuse our money and mess up our lives basically. We'll have to pay for it in some shape or form. And when it came down to it, no one paid for 2009. Brexit, who suffers from Brexit? The people. The rich people who voted Brexit, they have arrangements ready to take advantage of Brexit. The poor people who worked in the NHS, who had to sit with pay freezes and worry about even getting kicked out of the country, they had to sit with that. And like no one's invisible. The racism in this country is not invisible, but you can turn your eye away from it, and it just gets to a point where people are just frogs in boiling water. We hit a stage where very few people can go like 3 months without getting paid. So people are literally living on knife's edge, but they don't know it. But we just pacify ourselves. We drink on Saturday.
No, I hear that. But Louie, before you go too far, let's talk about Brexit and let's actually digest it because you mentioned the topic,
Yeah.
All of us, we were born here, we got British passports.
Yeah.
So in reality, when you look at Brexit, we shouldn't really be affected by it.
We're not affected.
We're born exactly. So you've got to think like, okay, if Brexit didn't go through, how different do you believe life would be for yourself? Like, do you think you'd be in a better position? I'll speak for myself. I don't think much would have changed.
Yeah, I don't think much
would still be in power. I don't think Labour would. Like the whole voting thing, the whole country's still in that mentality of Brexit anyway. So even if Brexit didn't go through, I don't believe Labour.
I don't. Do you know what? I think this is not this is a topic off related to Black Lives Matter racism. See the corona, yeah? I felt like it would have been handled better if Jeremy Corbyn because this Boris guy, he took it as a joke.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, the man are puppets, innit? So he didn't really know how extreme like the situation would get with corona. He's just thinking, okay, you know, it's flu with X Factor. You know, he just thought X Factor free flu. He didn't expect the numbers of fatalities what we're seeing now. So like once that happened, then he said, okay, full lockdown. But you got to remember there was resistance. When he mentioned lockdown, and he tried to do it in a subtle way, he didn't try to say, okay, you man, it's a straight lockdown thing. He made it as subtle as possible, and people were still rebelling. You got to remember, there were loads of people breaking quarantine.
But the problem was though, like he wasn't being serious with it. He was like, oh yeah, this stay in your house. He wasn't saying like.
Yeah, but you got to remember, he was okay. The reason why he had to say, okay, lockdown has to happen because of the numbers. It was straight. Labour, so you're trying to tell me that Labour could have predicted the numbers before?
No, that's not what I'm saying. No. That's not what I'm saying.
The amount of rebellion, there would be uproar
if
the economy went into a state where it is now, but the numbers of fatalities weren't high.
No. What I'm saying, Jamzy.
Justify the economy being down because the amount of deaths.
No,
what
I'm saying, Jamzy, is that if you think about it, all the other countries were catching this case, the corona, the COVID, and he saw this, he blatantly saw this and thought, oh, nah, it's fine, like no one here will catch it, blah blah blah, it's not going to affect us. And a couple weeks later, look at him, he was in the hospital. He was in the hospital. He's lucky.
I don't think it's a thing where he didn't think it's gonna affect us. I felt like he just wanted everyone to catch it, and then everyone would be immune to it.
No, you know what it was? So basically, with the corona, there's two strains. There's an L strain and an S strain. Basically, one's lethal strain and safe strain. I caught the S strain. Do you remember there was a day where I was like, I'm done. I think I've got corona, and I was gone for the day. I was on the mattress, like just finished. I was ready to sign out. And the one that took over Italy and Spain was the L virus. You know where that one actually got spread? There was one game with Italy and Spain. There was like, I forgot what derby it was. And loads of people from Italy and Spain went to the game, and that's where allegedly the virus got spread from. And then they all went back to their respective countries. That's why you were hearing Italy, Spain just getting absolutely dangled and just done in by the L strain. Because the numbers you were hearing from there were unheard of in any other country. And obviously, them man were travelling in and out from UK to Italy also. That's how we got it. So what was happening in China was they were. Do you remember you were hearing for a little bit there was rumours of them spraying stuff from the air into people's like apartments and stuff. They were spraying the S strain to get people sick from the S strain, so that the L strain wouldn't kill them.
I ain't gonna lie, lads. This is taking a turn into.
It's taking a dark turn. I don't want to spend too much time on corona.
Yeah, it's not about that. It's not about that.
Speaking on that topic, Louie, about China and them spreading it with an edge. Remember when the videos were coming out of people who claimed they had corona and was coughing in the lifts?
Yeah.
Shit like that. Now I think about that, I'm thinking, like, how did they know they had corona? So they had corona and they was moving like they were normal. Where when you had corona, Louie, you was collapsed, like you was in bed. So how can people be going out and trying to spread it? I don't.
But you can't take what they say in that video as facts.
Facts, yeah.
Exactly. Those people didn't say. Those people that were coughing on the lift buttons and that weren't saying themselves that they have coronavirus. It was just the heading of.
But the thing is, if you know about mainland China, they do that grimy type of stuff as well. Don't get me cancelled, China. But
don't get yourself cancelled.
Well, they did say that the whole reason the thing spread was the most like sensible and realistic reason. Well, not sensible, but let's just say more sensible reason. They said it's because of the markets, the wet markets were a breeding ground for a hot mess. Like that
was in Wuhan. But you know what the secret was? There's a lab in Wuhan, in it, where they do tests on these type of viruses, isn't it?
This is
Alright, Louis, I'm gonna have to stop you. We're gonna have to do it another time. I've got a few questions for the man. Yeah, we can do another podcast episode on that. I don't mind. Yeah, I've got a couple of questions for the Mandem. So what do you guys think of Black Lives Matter then?
Rabbit segue.
Okay, my thing with Black Lives Matter is it's not just Black Lives Matter. That's the problem with it. So when someone's shouting Black Lives Matter, it's not understood what it's about exactly, because that's where the whole LBGQT and all of that stuff comes into it. Like,
Bro,
from a long time,
bro. The alphabet boys won't like it.
Exactly.
Listen. For all the special individuals, they all get pigeonholed with the rest of us black people. The problem is, not every black person has the same views that line up with all of the so-called minorities. The thing is, there's power in minorities. It's called a minority rule, where, let's say I'm vegetarian and we're all going to live together for a year. Pretty much everyone's going to become vegetarian just to accommodate. That's how these small groups get power. And then it gets to a point where they reach a critical mass where they start having as much power. And that's when all the confusion comes in. So this is where we're probably going to see really the strength in the whole Black Lives Matter thing. If it's going to segue and actually make some changes to help black people, or if it's just going to get turned into a machine to propel other minorities to get somewhere else, you see. And the thing is, this is the problem where black people will probably be used again as mules to do the heavy lifting and not get the benefits. So it's kind of a question of the battle you're fighting. You have to ask yourself is, do you know where it's going and what you're trying to get from it? And the reality is most people do not know.
What do you think, Jamzy?
I was gonna let Aaron give his point of view first.
Whoever wants to give their point of view, boy.
My point of view is very simple. I believe in the sentiment of Black Lives Matter because everyone's life should matter. No one's life should be worth less than anyone else's life. And that's it, really. Actually, I was going to say some next shit, but that's really it. That's the whole point of the thing, though, isn't it? Well, in my opinion, people say that it's for this and that and all these other secret things are happening, and that really is a terrorist group. But really, the slogan of the thing is what people should focus on, really, and that is the case, especially in America, where certain people's lives seem to be valued a lot less than other people's lives. Like, even like a perfect example, obviously, is just what happened recently with the George Floyd guy.
Right.
Choked out for 9 minutes.
So this is where it becomes a problem, where it stops being one thing, because the George Floyd thing, it wasn't just everyday racism. Like, it's not just, the guy behind the market stall who sells some vegetables who says, the N-word and whatnot. You can't even say that out here, can't we? But this was more of a power situation. Right now, we've got people with power who have gone nuts. They've lost the plot. They are literally pants over head, and they're just running around doing fuckeries and getting away with it. That's part of the problem.
I can agree with that, because obviously, since those riots and protests have started, you've been seeing a lot of videos of police and berserk on everyone.
It's literally
anyone can get it now. So it's
Yeah, literally.
This is really a people problem, where it's a human thing. Where as soon as people get a bit of power, they go up the wazoo with it. They're in cahoots with nonsense. Like when like this is literally part of the thing with the woman who was in the park, who called the police on the guy who told her to leash her dog.
Yeah, that's fucked. But she knew what could have happened to that guy. She knows what could have happened to that guy.
So that was also that was a case of white privilege.
But that is a big problem in America, that the slogan African American, once somebody hears that, it's an instant problem.
I was gonna get to that, Chris.
That is such a big problem. Do you know what? If she's hold on, let me say my point. Yeah, and then so once you say African American in obviously in America, people seem to scurry. The police seem to scurry over there. But I guess if she said there's a male in the park and he's basically attacking me and my dog, they might have to shut it down and be like, oh, can you move on?
You think so?
Right, it's so different in America, man.
Yeah, but the thing as well, like if she said there's a Middle Eastern man moving around,
yeah,
you would get riot police flying down from helicopters immediately as well. So like that's part of the reason why I was saying what we're facing now is more than one issue, and I think the mistake people are making is they're undertaking it from one angle, when if you want to fix the leak, in the pipe.
Ho-
You have to hit all
Ho-
of the holes at once.
Hold on, sorry, Louis. What happened to the guy actually? That she called the police on.
No, nothing happened.
Nothing happened to him. That's good.
Yeah, but because he recorded it and uploaded it the day after.
And that's another thing though. If he didn't record it, what do you think would have happened?
He would have got battered, in my opinion.
Yeah, but we're at a stage where it's a bit early in the revolution where having your phone out recording isn't going to stop the God-given beating your black friend is going to get from the police.
Man said, "Govern beat." Come on, Louis, man.
That's the comment.
Listen,
Louis, please.
Oh, God said.
Did you lot you lot must have I posted it. Did you see the video in New York? Yeah, where there's FBI guy. He didn't show them that ID. Yeah. See, that's a prime example. As soon as they knew that he was FBI agent, they were like, "Whoa, I'm not on this. He's a backup."
You know, the other video. This is another problem with you just have to say it's like very likely that it's racism. It's like 90% that it's racism that's happening. There was these these people that owned their shop. They had their own shop. It was about to get looted by looters, obviously, and they phoned the police on these people. Then the people ran away. The police came, and immediately they put the shop owners in handcuffs.
Handcuffs. I saw that.
Absolutely mad. And then the woman was like, "It's not them." They ran off, and then she's like, "The police was, I don't care about them." Blah 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 blah. And it's looking. It might have got picked for those people that own the shop for no reason as well.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think, Jamzy? You ain't spoken for a while. I know you got something to say.
So, if we're talking about Black Lives Matter, yeah, if it's an organisation, it's a political organisation, if you're comparing it to the likes of a black supremacist, or, a group like Black Panthers from back in the day, or Nation of Islam, or even, the Israelites, the Black Israelites, then you're thinking, okay, of a set of people who are just militant, who are just about black principles, but so there are people out there that look at it like that, like a black supremacist group, but in reality it's not. It's just a movement. It's not an organisation.
I feel like it's literally what they say. It's what the slogan is, what the heading of the slogan, what the title of the thing is. Black Lives Matter. I literally think that's the case, and I literally think
it's just a movement. So you don't even have to be black to be with it. Unlike
the Black Panthers,
those organisations that I was just talking about. Yeah, so Nation of Islam, Black
Hotep Boys. You don't need to be black.
Yeah, that's when it's deep, isn't it? Like, what you've got a set of people out there who have seen those supremacist groups, so they're thinking, "Rah, is this a new version? Is this like new generation Nation of Islam, but better?" So they're threatened, so they're thinking, "Rah, like."
No, but they shouldn't.
What's going on with all, like, why does it have to be Black Lives Matter? Why can't it be all lives? So I think they've got a problem first with the naming, the semantics there. So
I don't matter. But do you not think there's anything even wrong with the name? Especially considering what you see happening in America.
We're looking at it from our point of view. We're black in it. All of us here are black, right? Yeah. So we're looking at it as, okay, yeah, of course, my life matters. Yeah. But on the flip side, other people are like, "Rah, okay, so why don't my life matter?" But they're not getting what the message means. The message means is that, it doesn't mean that your life doesn't matter. It just means right now, blacks are getting brutalized, and you're seeing it now. Like,
Do you know what though? If that's the case, obviously none of us are Asian, or if I don't know the statistics for Asian people in America getting battered, but wouldn't you think they would make Asian lives matter then?
Well, we don't know the statistics for that.
That's what I'm saying. But if they felt like they were getting suppressed by racism or the cops,
you don't remember 9/11.
True.
They were getting,
True.
Bruh, in terms of the tier list, they was near the top in terms of most hated racial group out there. People. I saw this with my own eyes. During my commuting days, I used to see people move away from women wearing burqas, like on public transport. It was peak. So if there was a movement that came out of that, saying Muslims lives matter or Asian lives matter, I would be with it. I'd be like, yeah, of course their lives matter. Like, but if they're being suppressed, like, yeah, definitely their lives matter. But it's the people who have racial tension that do not like them.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, right, as well, I want to mention is, right now we're dealing with Mother Nature as well. Like, Mother Nature is a system. It's like an economy. There's loads of moving parts. You can't just focus on one little bit when you're trying to fix the problem. Like if someone's ill, it's not just the medicine or the antibiotics. You also have to keep your temperature the right place. You got to make sure they eat the right type of food. You can't feed them McDonald's whilst they're sick. You got to come with a plan across the board to get an actual recovery. Otherwise, if you go and give someone alcohol whilst they're on antibiotics, you're going to make their situation worse. And that's where we're at now, where when I'm saying, are people actually aware of the undertaking they're taking? When you're saying Black Lives Matter, you're basically saying, let's fix society. And I feel people aren't really ready for that.
Oh, that's actually a good point.
That's why they fight it so much, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, to touch on what Louis mentioned, so if it comes to a point where there is a turn in society, we're seeing that, the way blacks are being treated by police, by law in general, worldwide is a lot different due to what's happened and George Floyd now being a martyr. If that's the case, then Black Lives Matter probably doesn't need to be a thing anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, it does matter because, everyone's being treated equal. But in reality, do you think we'll ever get to that stage? Do you ever think, because look, we're talking about from Malcolm X, Martin Luther King.
They're talking about before those times. The whole
so they've tried to have this from way back, and it's not getting better.
Do you know what? Do you know what?
Like, as much as I respect George Floyd and his contribution he's bringing right now, his death isn't going to be the catalyst that causes change in terms of completely 100% eradicating racism. Like, we know in our hearts, deep down, racism is gonna go down. It's been going down for a long time, but will it 100% go away? No. Like, if a white supremacist sees his daughter walk in with a black boyfriend, 2 years from now, he's probably not going to be too enthusiastic.
Do you know what though? Do you know what though, Louis? On that, when you said a white male and his daughter's with a black male, even if they had a mixed race kid or whatever you wanna call it, there is some mixed. Look, man, whatever, man. It's let me land. What I'm gonna say here, with mixed race people, mixed race people, they tend some of them tend to take up either one culture or the other, or some of them take up both. And there's some celebrities that I've seen, and they literally just say some racist stuff about black people, and it's just like, but you have like a black father or a black mother, like.
So when it comes to mixed race people, I call that's a second order effect. That is a branch of one of the main problems, where some people will say, like, mixed race people are completely different. You're literally a person of two different cultures. So even the problems a mixed race person would have, I would say even a black person can't relate in that sense of where you genuinely are half white, for example, but deep down, white people would just never accept you the same. You're lumped in with black people in terms of statistics. You know what I mean? Like, if you act a certain type of way, you automatically get categorized black or white. Like, you're almost like stuck in the middle. So I think even that is like something we should probably talk about sometime down the line, where how do mixed race people even get involved in these type of things?
It would be good to have like someone who is mixed race, to be honest, to have a chat with them, but
I might get my kids on the next one if you want.
When I say kids, When I say kids.
Speaking of that, so Louis, I kind of disagree with that, just because, I've got a lot of friends who are mixed race, and they've grown up like me, literally, same ends, same schooling, same upbringing. Right. So to me, even if our tastes are the same in music, movies, whatever, I look at them as black, even though they may have fairer skin. I look at them as
yeah, definitely.
And even look at one of the biggest shifts in sporting industry, in the American sports scene when it came to racism. Who took the stand? It was mixed race guys, Colin Kaepernick, right? Yep. Look at that South African news anchor or whatever his name is, Trevor Noah. He's mixed race, right?
Yeah.
For the black agenda. Same with that Don Lemon guy on CNN. Like, them man, don't get twisted. Just because they're mixed race, they still have the same.
I think they have it harder, where they have to overcompensate.
Yeah, exactly. they have to go in. They have not even just overcompensate. They like their knowledge has to be much more than the average.
Exactly.
Black.
Like,
Do you know
I
what
can
mean?
come in
Because
with my half-assed knowledge.
Yeah, if their blackness gets tested, then it's a problem.
Do you know what? Yeah, that's Jamzy makes a good point about testing. Have you been on like social media, and a like mixed race person will say something, and for some reason, like fully black people will test them so hard, and I'm like, just leave them alone, man. Just leave them.
See all the time. It's not even just guys, girls as well.
Yeah.
That's a whole other subject.
Yeah.
This is where colorism comes in.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, but
I'm not even trying to get into that one right now.
Like, we're in a kind of worms.
Yeah.
It's really, truly, this is not one problem. That's the problem. It's not one problem. So,
All right.
so we just
we've got too much to digest.
Um,
Too much to
Yeah.
dissect.
Yeah.
as soon as you start pulling the rug a little bit, you start seeing different colours coming on the rug.
Um,
And you start to realise, oh my god.
I got another question. Got another question for you guys. Got a few. So what do you lot think of the looting?
I'm gonna speak first because I did talk about this in the in Filthy Games. So yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a father and I'm a father of two, and like since I had my first youth, like a lot of my mindset like shifted. You know, like everything's more about the kids now. Anytime I spend money, I always think about my children in it. But luckily, you know, I'm in a position where it's not really been a problem for me in terms of monetary assets. Like, I've never
Shout out to Black Excellence.
not even that. It's not even a gas thing, but like that's not been a problem. However, if there was a case where you know I was a little bit, how can I say it, down,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I needed to, you know, I'm not gonna say looting is the best
Do
form.
what you had to do.
But bro, if I need to put food on the table, I'm gonna do what I need to do, like for my kids.
Mm.
But obviously, there's better ways out there. Like man talked about universal credit. Man talked about, you know, fleecing the government for all government aid as much as possible. But at the same time, I know people who are not so fortunate. So you know, take for example, there was a family member who was working, and they, you know, they're quite old. A family member of mine, quite old, wasn't born here, so you know the papers are a bit questionable. Been working for quite some time, and they didn't realise where they was working. I think it was a menial job, like a labouring job. They wasn't on the books. So when it came to, you know, the whole COVID situation and being furloughed, they wasn't eligible for furlough payments. So right now, for the past 3-4 months, that person has not been earning. So that person's got a family. Do you know what I mean? That person trying to get universal credit with someone in that position with you know, questionable papers, bruh, forget about it.
You
So, you know,
you just opened my mind to something actually, Jamzy. See with the looting, yeah. I personally, can you just open up my mind? My mind's shifted. So I don't, at first I didn't agree with the looting because I feel like that takes away from the whole movement of the protest. It makes us kind of look, well, not us, I can't even say that. It makes people look bad. But no, but I shifted it, Aaron. It makes the whole protest of the movement just look so bad because it's like, oh, what are these people doing? Like, you're not serious, are you? But if I'm a homeless person, or I haven't got the funds at the moment, that's my opportunity to get something.
Yeah, but that's you have to look at it a certain way though. People like that would steal what they need to steal. They will be stealing food. They'll be stealing shit from, I don't know, places that sell food. You know, like essential items.
They still.
No, they're not. Listen, Louie, they're stealing from Gucci shop. What are you gonna do?
No, that Aaron. Aaron, hold on. They
you know that, right?
Well, you can flip them. You can. I understand you can flip them, but let's be honest. Here. Who's trying to flip? Who's trying to flip the thing? That stuff is like highly regarded.
But why would I go and try to loot 5 bags of Tilda when I could loot a Louis Vuitton pouch and
sell it
quite quickly, and I'll be good for quite a while. Do you know what I mean?
I understand that. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking that people just try to take these things and they're kind of trying to keep them for themselves.
Oh, don't get me wrong. There's definitely
Exactly. That's
Well, you know, I'm trying to be the devil's advocate here. I'm saying like not everyone.
everyone.
But America as well. You know,
some people could be doing the smart Louie, innit? Like stealing those Gucci bags and shit, and then selling them for more.
Yeah. So what I was gonna add on to that, obviously there's some people that are not in college or they're not studying, they're not working, so they're taking this opportunity to steal that Gucci bag, because obviously like some of these young kids, they're not thinking in it. They just like out their house, they're trying to get out of their house. We've been stuck in that house for 3 months. 3 or 4 months. They're just thinking, I'm coming out of my house to get something. They don't really care.
It's wrong.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking the majority of people like that. People are not looking at the bigger picture of flipping.
That's what I was saying.
Or authentic Gucci bag. That's why I had a problem with the looting. But I understand if someone is in desperate need, they've been furloughed. They haven't even been furlouged. They've been let go of their job.
Let go.
They have no money. They've had no money for months. They've had no money.
Family's hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
People
crying.
So, like, there's loads of dimensions to this problem, isn't it? Like I was saying, there's the politics, there's the financial, there's the economic. There's loads of angles in it. So when it comes to let's say the younger people looting, you have to remember that having morals is a how to put it, it's a privilege. Like when you're fucked up, you do what you have to do because no one's gonna come and put anything in your mouth. Like the government, when it comes to money, they give you just about enough for you to live, literally till the next check. And think about the situation you're in. You're in a sandpit, and you know once you get into that mindset of being in the sandpit, that's when the illusion falls apart. Like the whole society is an illusion. Like if we all decide like fuck it, we're going outside, we're gonna break shit, and everyone else joins in, our society is done. It's collapsed. It collapses in our mind first before it happens in the real life. And so what's you're gone? And that's what happened with the government when we started in 2009, and probably even a bit before that, from weapons of mass destruction.
When the old 09er from now.
When Jordan was getting slippers thrown at him, something in our mind was saying, there's an honourable man. There's an honourable man have slippers thrown at him.
The monumental events there, Evo moments.
Like, we were young when we saw that, but I something in me said he must not be an honourable man for someone to take off their shoe and throw it at you.
Like, you know, that's the ultimate disrespect. Like the ultimate disrespect. So,
literally, like that's what a mum would do to a son rummaging around in a handbag.
Like going back to the whole looting thing. So looting, I'm on the fence with that. However, destruction of our own communities, I'm totally against that.
Yeah, I'm not with it.
Burning cars, smashing up like small-time businesses that are, you know, we're not talking about companies or chains. We're talking about the small. You guys see that video? It was old school back in the day. I think it happened in the LA riots, where that old black man.
Yeah.
He was saying, "Look, I just tried to make something of myself. I just got my computer. You guys, like, you're taking from us. Like, it's from us, bro." That hit me, and I'm thinking, bro, like,
imagine you had your little business, and then like some people just come to riot. You'd be pissed.
Precisely.
People that consider people that is, it's not just like any random people. It's people that you consider in the same boat as you. People trying
precisely. It's like it's your neighbor. You're thinking this community. That's my neighbor. Why is my neighbor stealing from me? Like that's my spot. So I get that. But when it comes to Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Supreme, Nike, Foot Locker, bro, those things are easy to replace.
Yeah, they are replaceable.
Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly. All
Gucci's are not going to be looking that much worse.
All their stuff is insured anyway. So anything they lose, they'll get the money back for it anyway.
See with me, I've got a different opinion. I'm with all of the shits. Like I'm with all of the chaos. I think it should be expected, and people need to understand why it's happening. Like, because I feel people are a bit in la la land. Like, let's take a dog for example. What happens when you start neglecting a dog and you start mistreating it, hitting it, for example, and what do animals do when you put them in captivity and lock them up for too long? What happens?
Rabbit.
They go rabid, and what do they usually do? They start hurting themselves, don't they? You start having dogs throwing themselves into wall. Humans are no different. We need to be managed carefully, probably even more carefully than like animals, because when we go off the rails, we go off the rails, and we've got the tools to go off the rails properly and do it effectively too.
Let me say something, Louis, though. I understand what you're saying. It's a good analogy, yeah. But don't you think, yeah, that the white supremacists is happy that we're bunning our own communities?
Of course, they're against this. They're communities, which literally in the grand scheme of things don't matter. They're like bumfuck Boomsville, some flyover state where you only see it when you're going over a motorway. Nothing happens there. There's only white people there.
There are people. I was seeing footage. There are people blatantly from the suburbs coming into the urban areas. I don't think we're allowed to use that word anymore, urban. But they're going into the inner city areas with their skateboards, and they're causing more chaos.
Exactly.
They're trying to do it with a bit of flair. You see the pictures.
Man said flair, you know.
But the thing is, when you guys are saying into your community and whatnot, I disagree with that. Like, what in the community do these people own? They own nothing. This is part of the problem when I say this.
So what I mean by community is where we're placed. Like, okay,
where you live, exactly.
So Louis, are you telling me, yeah, if you wait, Louis, if you and your family built something, right, and then your neighbor, who's obviously the same colour as you, came to the straight, you telling me you wouldn't be unhappy?
No, but that's a personal issue. No. So say like basically what's happening now, is say a third party upset your neighbours and they come and mash up your shit. Would you like it?
Exactly.
No, it's not. So obviously that's what I'm saying. There's different ways to come at these things where people are acting confused why people are just breaking shit up. The people who are breaking things have nothing. They've got no chips in play in this society game we're playing. These are the people who are, let's say, born after like 1980, who have less than nothing, like who are basically destroying things from people from the generation prior, which people have built up, and they're living off, trading off, let's say, living off brands, living off legacies passed on. These people they've got nothing to stand on. So when it comes to breaking shit, they're literally thinking anything goes. Window, fucking, like someone was saying there was I circle around a lot in the mornings and whatnot, and I see a lot of homeless people go to those BT ports where you can like use internet, and that's where they charge their phones. That's actually the main use for it. It's for homeless people, and people are breaking those too. So you have to kind of understand they have no attachment to anything in front of them, so anything can get destroyed. And if you want them to care, you have to give them something to care about, and that's what people aren't necessarily really ready to look at. If that makes sense.
People are not like, at the end of the day, people, there's not much unity.
Because they're not destroying where they're not breaking their own windows before they leave the house, are they?
Do you know what though? There is something in this that Lou was saying about legacy and stuff, and this comes into the school system as well. Can you imagine our historic history, like our black people were beat up so much, yeah, and then obviously because our race is not being taught in school of the history, so they don't even know what's going on. They're just thinking, I'm gonna break this down. I don't know what, like, they're not really being taught, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like that.
But there's a reason for that, Chris. You know what that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Imagine you, like me, in history, that usually was just like lessons about either Henry VIII.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wars, Victoria, and all of that, which is history of it's our history, well not ours, but it's the history of this country, innit? It's the UK.
It's not even just UK. Let's be honest. Like America. Put it this way, America.
And the Aztecs, the ones.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying.
Scribes and
what I'm basically saying, yeah. Like, you know how America is not like, it's not the white man's land. It's the Native Americans, yeah. They have stolen so much, taken it in. Not all of them are racist, by the way. They've taken it in and told everyone, oh yeah, this is what we bought. Like, this is all our stuff.
So which one are you talking about? Are you talking about America's history, which is quite deep, when we're talking about race, or we're talking about
America. UK don't like. I'm talking about America.
It's definitely deeper
It's
rooted.
deep
But I'm
rooted.
pretty sure now it's much better in terms of the education. So I'm like they've got things like HBCUs over there, so they've got proper school
Yeah.
just for blacks. So like they're a bit more advanced in terms of the knowledge and understanding. Like Dr. Umar, you see what man he's trying to build schools like, and you know he's not been the first and he's not going to be the last.
It's sad though.
Been trying since like 2015.
It's sad though because no one takes him seriously.
Donations.
It's sad because no one takes him seriously because he comes across as funny. But what everything he said,
Oh, bro, he is knowledgeable. Bruh, he's a meme, but you know
what he said is actually happening.
even Jordan was a meme, but we can't take anything away from Michael Jordan. So please, like, don't let the message.
What I've been learning, I would say in terms of history, that's where Black lives really matter, because there's a lot of Black history which isn't spread. So stuff like the Tutankhamun, all of that stuff is very valuable. Like I actually started to like history because of ancient Greece, because ancient Greece is where you learn all the stories
Greek mythology.
about like the stories of Hercules. That's a man down who makes his rise back to the top against all odds. The story of hero. That's what gave every white man.
Yeah.
Like when they hear those stories, that's
These are all stories that have been adapted into Marvel movies, basically.
Yeah.
Was it King George? That's why we got St. George's Day. Like that stuff lights a fire in the bellies of white people, because they have the feeling of I want to be a hero.
Yeah.
Black people, we don't have that. Like
Even though we were kings.
Okay, we're kind.
When I was because people, I used to live in Africa, so I actually got into a taste of African history and what it had to be, because I'm part of a royal family, so I had to actually go and sit in lectures and listen. And like people didn't know, like the slave trade started in Africa, Sudan, Mali, all of these places. They were literally leaders of trade in the world. Like they had like the whole sanitary cleaning. They taught that to the Romans, believe it or not. But a lot of it gets glossed over, and the thing is, the knowledge is in the history. What we're seeing right now is we're gods for wisdom. We're gods of wisdom for everything except knowledge. Like we know how to do everything except think. How to say it? We're basically in a position where we're going to be doomed to make the same mistakes again until we learn from the past. And
Exactly.
the problem is people don't learn from the past.
That's it.
Let alone
So
remember
we've got to change. So it's all good dwelling on the past, bro. Reparations are not going to happen, and even if they happen, fair enough. That is a part of the world in terms of the black race that will benefit from it. But we here, we're not going to benefit from it. Africa, they're not going to benefit from it because the people there, they wasn't the original slaves. What you said, they helped. They was part of the slave trade, so they may even need to.
They had their own original
reparations. They've got blood on their hands as well. Don't get it twisted. So right now we are living in history, so we've got power. I'm not even trying to come up as an activist or anything.
Exactly.
We
No,
have
we
power
do,
to
you're right.
change the narrative going forward for our children and our children's children. But we need to kind of I think we're moving too fast. Like the way technology is moving as well, everything's just moving too fast.
Right now, we're in a cycle of everything quickening. So
that's it.
When I was saying, I put it in the dopamine system, where everything is about quick hits to the brain, get you riled up for a minute, get you involved, and as soon as the high falls off, the motivation.
But that's what I was saying in Filthy.
People in control love that, because to win a war, it's a sustained battle. But to win a little fight, it's a short burst.
But
they'll let you have a little victory here and there, which is why I kept saying this George Chauvin.
That's a George Chauvin.
It's a George Chauvin.
But
Mr. Chauvin, the man who choked out George Floyd.
That's what I was saying in Filthy. I was saying in Filthy. Hold on, Louis. This is what I was saying in Filthy.
I think they're gonna sell him out.
This is what I was saying in Filthy. You know that whole Blackout Tuesday thing? Do what you're doing. I didn't get involved. Because I felt like, why are you only doing that for one day? You might as well keep doing it. Like, what's one Blackout Tuesday?
People need to
No. Can I play devil's advocate? I agree. I fully agree with you, Chris. I'm going to play devil's advocate because I said the same thing on my Instagram, and someone DM'd me and told me, look, you know, it is about spreading. It might not just be for us, but it's definitely more important for the influencers with a bigger platform. So when they're doing it, a lot of people are like, what's this blackout thing about? And then the idea is it's a catalyst for them to look into it. Yes, they're spreading the knowledge, so it's a catalyst. So that's what I was saying, for the people, so you're right, for the people like us who have private accounts, or, you know, that our followers are not into the like tens of thousands, I'll be honest, it makes no sense, especially when you're doing a hashtag. Like, why are you doing a hashtag? No one can even search the hashtag. Like, you're not searchable, public, like private. So like, it's more of a trend if you're doing it.
All right.
When criteria
Let me say this then. All right. If I am, wait, hold on. If I'm a white supremacist, yeah, do you think I'm gonna care about some blacked out box? I kind of want you to do that because it's not gonna affect us.
It's not gonna affect us.
Well, but the thing is that it's spreading the knowledge, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's spreading the knowledge.
I'm not.
Even people that don't know about it, they're gonna, oh, what's this about? Like what Johnny just said, they're gonna check it, and then hopefully, if it's done its purpose, they'll look into it, and it might change their views about how they look at certain things.
True.
So,
And before
Chris.
go on.
Isn't there people in our group chat that have got emails, DMs, texts from the white colleagues and counterparts since this movement? So it's definitely working, right?
I feel like that's because they've seen what's on TV, not because of a blacked out Tuesday.
Oh, it's a combination of all. It's not just that. It's
So
Did you not see on Instagram people were saying don't put Black Lives Matter under the box?
Yeah.
Because
if you're looking for more information about Black Lives Matter and you hit that hashtag, you're just gonna see black squares.
Exactly. So what was the reason of having the blacked out Tuesday then?
So that's why they wanted to split up into Blackout Tuesday and Black Lives Matter. So let's say the artwork and all the stuff that helps you understand the story of Black Lives Matter, you see it, and then Blackout Tuesday, it'll just fall into some little category.
Fair dues then.
What I want to say is, the thing with everything is there's two parts. There's the positive and the negative. And the thing is, it's like you have to manage both. And this is the problem people aren't like. If you run in and I don't know, you go and study for an exam, let's say, and you focus on getting a certification your whole life. By let's say a certain point, you'll be very educated and well off, but you'll be lacking common sense in another department. Let's say, or let's say being socially aware of stuff and whatnot. So you'll be completely educated but lacking in another aspect. So everything comes in two angles where it's like we're in a system. So the good parts maybe come now and the bad parts come later. That's what cigarettes do. They give you the little high now and the after effects come later. So when it comes to, let's bring it back to this black box everyone was putting up. I was thinking, where does this go? The next logical step would be putting up rainbow boxes because gays also have rights too, right? How many?
That was happening. A lot of organisations were doing that. They were replacing the theme of the slogan or brand with the colours to represent pride.
So, but we know, like, for example, a lot of black people are very close-minded. Also, they're not only white people. That all of a sudden now you've got a kind of worms where someone's gonna say, "Well, wait, you guys were happy to post Black Lives Matter."
It's a quality battle, isn't it?
Exactly. You guys were willing to accept people posting, or you were willing to post the black circle or the black square, but you're not willing to post the rainbow square. And now all of a sudden you're now in a tight bind where you kind of have to do it because
for me,
you're getting
for me,
that's what makes black people really look like hypocrites, because you're willing to take support from outsiders and people necessarily maybe, let's say, against you, let's say, because you can't do it by yourself. But when it's now your turn to help others, aka other minorities.
Louie.
What? Wait, Louie. Hold on, Louie. Hold on. No, hold on. What? I hear what Louie. Louie, hold on. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's a good point. I think I said it in a group chat. I felt like when I went on Twitter, I saw something like Black Trans Lives Matter, innit? I feel like you need to separate them because they're two different matters, man. It's like
Right.
Yeah, I agree with
They
that.
are,
I feel like
they
it's
are they are two separate matters, but they all come under the same. They're all dynamic. So you might have a trans issue first before you have a racism issue, and then you might have a racism issue before it becomes a trans issue. So you might be going into some hassle with someone in the workplace, and he dislikes you because you're black, but then he might like you because you're trans. Or you might be going into the workplace and getting discriminated on because you're trans, but you might be thinking it because you're black. So it's like, that's why these things, they're hard to separate, and you kind of have to take them all as one. Now, when you're coming up with solutions, it has to cover the whole thing. So
I'll be honest, Louis. I'm with Chris. I'm quite confused by Black Trans Lives Matter.
Exactly.
Because I didn't know there was an issue with Black Trans being killed. Like, because that's what I thought that was the reason for Black Lives Matter. There's an issue. You know, we're actually seeing people being documented.
pretty much.
Black Trans, I'm not that. Maybe I haven't. Someone needs to show me.
Yeah, it's actually the thing. It's black.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's a big thing.
So why
that's
can't,
what I'm saying.
why can't everyone who's black here, why can't they just fight for the same thing? If everyone's black and they want equality in life in general, it doesn't, no matter if you're trans or gay.
And that's what I was saying, because not everyone has the same issues. Like an Asian person is going to have different issues from a black person.
So what
we
you're
all
saying,
have intersections. We all have intersections.
what you're saying is anyone who is like, say, not necessarily black, but if they're trans and
For
then
example, or you could be Asian and trans. So
yeah,
that's
so
what I'm saying.
any trans person, so trans lives matter is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So so Aaron, so that to me that makes more sense. It's like, okay, let's have a period of time where we focus on trans and the issues that they're facing in society. But right now, sort of time in it, it's like.
Do you know what it's like? Do you know what it's like, Aaron? It's like, you know, you have hip hop, the main genre, yeah,
I was just gonna say that.
and then you have a subgenre like drill or grime. You know what I'm saying? That's why I see it.
Right. So what would be the main hip? What would
Grime
be the main?
under a subgenre of hip hop, Chris. Please.
Let's find
Grime is basically kind of hip hop, isn't it?
Bro, grime is not under hip hop.
But
But yeah,
let's talk
I
about
know what you're getting.
Let's use drill as an example. How many people are happy to say, I am a drill artist solely? And not, they don't even say artist. They say, I'm a drill rapper. All I do is rap drill. You might hear 2 or 3 people say that. The rest say, I'm an artist. I make music. The reason they say that.
No, not really. A lot of people claim they're the king of drill.
Yeah, they do.
That's compared to the majority. How many of them say, I'm an artist? Like, let's say RB completely made his name big. Even though he was doing his rap thing, he made his name big on drill. He says, I'm an artist. Headie One also does the same thing. And you start to see that when they go commercial, they start to try and cover wide genres.
So that's basically the point. There's like another genre within that genre, like a subgenre.
So what would be the main? What would be the
Trans
main?
is a subgroup.
So what would be the So what would be the main hip hop genre in this situation? Would it be Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, Black Lives Matter.
People like that.
So why don't? So if that's the case, why don't everyone just fight for the same cause? Everyone.
But that's the problem. They don't want to. That's what people are not understanding. Everyone's
But if it all results in the same goal, then people should be fighting towards it.
But you can't get everyone on board to, let's say, to fight for the same thing, because everyone's got different issues. So this is where it becomes, when you're rolling out a solution, it has to hit all the places at once. Otherwise,
So everyone's not fighting for the same.
because I'm not gonna fight for Asian Lives Matter as strongly as I'm gonna fight for Black Lives Matter. It's not gonna happen. I can tell you right now.
But then what Aaron's saying, no, but what Aaron's saying then, Louis, yeah, he's, wait, hold on. Listen. I understand what Aaron is kind of saying now.
Upstairs, fam.
What Aaron is,
Yellow box.
what Aaron is kind of saying, I kind of get what Aaron's saying. He's saying that everyone should fight together then. That means you can't really say, I'm not going to fight as hard for Asian Lives Matter. Then hold on, I've got another stipulation to this. Then all lives matter. Then you might as well stick to that. Everyone should stick to that then.
Yeah, but the thing is,
you can't really say that. No, but the thing is,
Chris is getting to a good point. He's getting to
yeah, but the thing is with that though. Hold on, please. The thing is that in America, especially, you can see that certain people are treated less fairly than other people.
Yeah, true.
In a certain way. So you can't say all lives matter when it's apparent that they don't. Exactly. If everyone knows that they don't, But people say, well, but all lives matter.
So we know for a fact all lives don't matter.
Yeah.
And then we know for a fact Black lives don't matter. So how are we going to fight and make Black lives matter when we know the base route is completely opposite?
That's what people are fighting for, though, isn't it? People are trying to make people understand, which I think is, I don't want to sound like a pessimist, but it's like, I don't think things will change over there, to be honest.
Exactly, because not all lives matter and not Black lives don't necessarily matter like that. They don't. It doesn't. We know it.
True.
To be honest, it hasn't mattered since the inception of that country, to be honest. So,
This has been a good one, though. I ain't gonna lie, boys. It's been a good one.
With the undertaking we're taking,
It's been a good one. It's been a good one. It's been a good one.
Taking a
this,
brave turn to this.
listen, but to be look, right, let's put a positive spin on it. Yeah. In the riots for the civil rights, that's what, well, the riots in general is what caused the civil rights movement to take place. There are 6 days of rioting, and all that fighting eventually made people cave in and give black people a quote-unquote better life. So
Freedom, basically. But
quote-unquote
they came with clauses, right?
Quote-unquote freedom. When were people described as super predators? Was it after the civil rights movement? Or was that
1999, Hillary Clinton.
No way. It was 1999, bro.
It was 1999.
It was talking about different super predator.
Super predator was Hillary Clinton,
bro.
When they asked them about blacks, she called them a pack of predators.
Jesus Christ! I hope you're lying. I hope this is.
I wish, bro. Why do you think I was all for Trump in 2016? I said Hillary. No, you tripping. She called us super predators, and her in 90, was it Bill Clinton? I think Joe Biden was in there too. They were the ones who were putting in the laws that were getting black people locked up in gross amounts.
It's not lying.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the quote unquote freedom that black people have experienced in America since the civil rights come into effect. So that's why I say things might not necessarily change for them, because although they've been given their quote unquote freedom and it's become frowned upon to be racist openly to those people,
Still covert.
yeah, it's still there, and it's exactly. People still getting boxed by the police.
Covert. It's blatant. It's blatant.
Yeah,
You see the man put a knee on a black person's neck for 9 minutes.
Exactly.
Like,
Now let's compare
his
that
hands
to
in his pockets.
yeah, exactly. The casually choking men out.
Let's compare that to like school shooters.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, Chris. Let's compare that to the guy who shot up those 9 people in that church. What did they do with that boy? Did they fuck him up? Did they
allowed him to have
They
a
took
Happy
him-
Meal.
Man said he was hungry. Man said he was hungry and he took him to Burger King.
Bruv, he was
Bruv,
good.
I swear the guy, yeah.
Can we honestly say, hold on, Chris, a minute. Can we honestly say that if that was a black person that shot up,
He would have got shot.
would that person have made it back to that to the police station?
It would be kill on sight, search and destroy. Like,
You see them things, yeah, they get me mad, like, emotional, innit? Because that guy, yeah, he walked out and he had a smile on his face. He put his hands up. Nothing happened. A black...
You could even the most ignorant person can't really deny that white privilege that happened on that occasion.
yeah,
That's the kind of stuff.
But that's why I think we've got to the point. So it's the tipping point. So the whites are actually seeing this and realizing, okay, I'll put my hands up. I know that I have privilege, so now I feel guilty.
The thing is, the people who are acknowledging it aren't the people that are important. That's the problem. It's just the everyday person.
Oh no, it's the people because you'll see it in Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
These people that hold
Do you know what?
power in the global scheme of things.
Do you know what?
They're putting money in places where.
Do you know what my problem is with this whole thing, yeah? Is that I feel like there's a lot of companies, organizations, and individuals who are pretending. They're not like, they're just doing it so people can get off their back.
But the thing is, if they do it so people, it's like a good business model. And sadly,
But let's be real, the only reason,
if they do it,
yeah,
they might not mean it. But if they do it and they show that they are about that life, they'll give them good publicity and
Alright.
they'll spread the message. Even
do you think, yeah,
The way I see it is,
do you think, yeah, I think Twitter's done well with this, right? The only reason a lot of these companies or individuals are opening up is because people are literally adding their account.
Yeah, it's true. We can't say for certain that those people.
Can you imagine this was about 20 years ago when there was no technology, you think these people care? They'll just be like, oh well, it's not my problem.
The outrage may have not even been seen 20 years ago.
Exactly. True.
So the whole thing that set this off might not have been seen by anyone. So therefore, it didn't happen. To many people.
I don't know. I might get corned for this. I don't agree with black people atting certain celebrities or people that are just like they haven't done anything. They're just there, innit? It's just wrong in my opinion.
Oh, they're like, oh, so and so.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
that's why I say there's two sides to everything, innit? Like there's also a power struggle going on here, where you've got the underclass people who are realizing they also have some type of power, and they're trying to get to the user. They're trying to see what they can really do with this shit, and they're gonna see, and it's probably not gonna be that impactful. They might get a reply from their favorite artist and whatnot, and that's where it's gonna end for them. And then the question for them becomes, what next? And then that's when people start to flounder, and they don't know where to go with this next. So that's what I was saying, we're confounded to repeat history because we don't learn from history. People don't even know what to do next.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know what the end game is for this stuff, to be honest.
I'll tell you what you could do, though. So what I did, I donated some money to Black Lives Matter cause, and I wasn't so public about it on, like, my Twitter. I'm not going to put that on.
You don't need to be boasting about it. If you do it, then you do it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the sort of person I am. Like, I did that. Plus, like, if you saw my Instagram story today, I shouted out all the black businesses that I follow and that I've used in it, because, bro, we can actually have a whole hour conversation about black business in general. And
Yes, I think that's something we should do.
I don't know if we want to do it here.
Nah, we can do it. I don't know if you lot are about like tomorrow. I don't mind.
Because I was having this conversation earlier about the reasons why, we don't really seek out to use black businesses as much as we should.
It'll be a great topic.
It is. I think it's a whole.
Then I can bring in my finance and economics.
Yeah. But I'm just trying to bring some solutions to the table. What we can do now. So as I said, I don't know.
Okay.
I wanna hear this actually. I don't know. You lot are around tomorrow. I'll be interested to hear this actually.
I'll be fine to do it tomorrow. But
Alright, part two.
I guess
Okay, part.
let's tackle one thing at a time with this. I'm talking about
Yeah.
what we do. So donating, but looking for what you're donating for.
Yep.
Promotion of black creatives, so within our realm, our microcosm, we could talk about black gamers, black YouTubers, black podcasters, just any sort of creatives, like promote them as much as possible. And we should not just promote them and leave it, we should we should subscribe, we should do all that good stuff.
Yeah, you should try and support the people who are doing bits for themselves.
Exactly. So if we do that, then we're able to kind of build ourselves and be in a position where we don't have to rely on the other side.
And that's
because
what
right now we still have to rely on the other side.
We're relying on other people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but there's a lot. So for my music, usually I don't have to rely on people that don't look like me. Do you know what I mean? Like for my music, I go straight to the source. But when it comes to other aspects, I'm talking about fashion. You're talking about other services, including like restaurants, food, all of that. It's quite hard to stay within the same similar circle where I with music. Do you know what I mean? So if we could kind of promote and give awareness to brands that can help in our daily lives, then we shouldn't have power struggle. We shouldn't have issues because we've kept it within the community. Like you guys know about the Jews. Like you know how I don't even want to go too deep into it, but the money circulating one day. Yeah, they keep the money circulating between the black.
It's not even just the Jews. It's Asians as well, man. They don't come out.
So let me shall I explain something? This is why black businesses don't stay in business.
Hey Louie, no, I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go into this episode. It'll be too long. It'll be too long.
It's a quick one.
It'll be too long. Hey Louie. Hey Louie. Hey Louie. No, Louie. Louie, save it for tomorrow. I beg. Alright, cool, fair enough.
So there's no fact where a Jewish dollar stays within the Jewish community for 7 transactions before it goes out to another community, and in the black community, it stays in a dollar stays in the community for 1 or 2 transactions at max. So when you think about what that means in terms of money velocity, which is the way money moves around the system, and which is what the government does when they print money to keep money in the system so that everyone stays solvent, black businesses don't even get the money into their balance sheet for one cycle or more than one cycle to actually stay in business. So you basically, if you're selling hats, you might get 1 or 2 sales, and you won't even have enough to pay your workers and re-up on new hats. So when someone actually does come and want to buy it, they can't even buy it from you. So whenever you hear of someone who's got black businesses, it's always on that kind of one-on-one basis. They never have stock ready to go. It's always on like, oh yeah, I'll let you know when I've got some ready type of thing. Whereas in the Jewish community, the money bounces around and it keeps everyone afloat. And from that alone, even though it's the same money, $1, and it's been around 7 times, it keeps seven more businesses running, and people prosper in the end.
Interesting.
That's it.
We're gonna
Interesting.
dive deeper into that topic in a
sure.
Go ahead. So
Yeah.
I've discussed sort of solutions from my perspective.
Okay, so I did my one as well for that. So when it comes to solutions, this is a battle for humankind in general. Like the collapse of humankind is before our faces. We know it deep down, and we're staring it in the face. That's the abyss. That's what really moves people.
This guy come like Rorschach.
I know it.
That's what spurs people to take the little action they can from their bedrooms and post Black Spurs on Instagram. They know, everything is at stake right now, but they don't know what to do. But it's all about doing the little you can do. Me, I'm taking the battle from the skies. I'm going after the government themselves, man.
When you say a bird for the government, what do you mean? Break that down.
I'm going into the financial markets and fighting the system itself.
Okay. So you're
See, because the thing is, this is partly a mental battle as well, where everyone has a lot of power of stuff they can do, but at the same time, everyone's got physical limits. So it's about really where does it stand for you? Like if you've got influence, your limits are way beyond someone who lives in their own little community. But still, someone in their own little community helps the older people and helps the younger upcoming black kids, like people in place and whatnot. They can still have a massive impact on people. So it's all about being there for the people who you care about. Also, ideally, mostly black people, ideally, and just making sure that you make their lives better, so that when they go and make someone else's life better, then a black life is actually mattering in the end. And yeah, that's what I've got to say about it.
Boy, that was.
Just I want everyone to have a sit down and think about the battle they're taking on and what they can actually do to help. Because if you take the easy way, your hands will be tied. Like there was Attack on Titan I was watching. He said a merchant smells with his nose, not for easy money, but for future profit. So think about the future, guys. And
it's true. Yeah, no, it's true.
And
you know why?
That's why Jamzy's thing comes into play, though, isn't it? Because obviously, investing in businesses from your people is going to help them in the future, and it's going to help everyone in the future. It's going to help raise up communities in the future. So, Jamzy's way of doing things with promoting black businesses, promoting black.
My only problem with charity is because of the two-side thing, where
that's not charity though. He's promoting people.
No. I mean charity as in literally just donating money. It's the same problem people have with donating money to people in Africa, is where it's the way people relieve themselves of responsibility. So they use charity as a mechanism.
Easy way, innit?
Exactly. To say I've donated money, I've done my part, but it's like no. Everyone's got skin in the game here.
All time for the big wigs is a tax write-off anyway. So
exactly.
I don't want to get too deep into that, but
to be fair, we've gone off topic so much. And there was a couple other questions, but we've gone so off.
Do you know what?
So Chris has to come with his.
No, I agree with your one. Your thing is like, to me, it's the perfect way of people raising each other up who need to be raised up in these times.
I've been
never really happened before.
I've been saying that in Filthy, that we need to raise each other up. Obviously, some people are a bit like opinionated about it. We've had a lot of talks in there this whole week. I just feel like we need to keep passing the money between each other. But that's what Jamzy was saying.
Yeah, that's basically what. Yeah. So it's like, if you can get out there, if anyone has this,
the problem is people need to understand why, and I'll be explaining that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cool. So people, if you can, you should find black alternatives to the things that you partake in.
Your essentials, not even just your like the needs, like literally everything. So things that you kind of consume for free. So whether it's podcasts, whether it's YouTube videos, Twitch, even Twitch channels,
Yeah.
like try to
Even if it's because the fact is it's free, so it's not going to cost you anything to do so.
Exactly.
And you'll be helping your people, the people you want to be helping. Obviously, you'll be helping them
I
by promoting their thing.
I think this Black Lives Movement has been good. I just hope people stick to it. They carry on supporting each other. That's
I don't want to be a pessimist, but someone said in Filthy Games. Actually, no. Because we're not right now.
No, say it. Aaron, say it.
We'll move it to
No, Aaron, say it. Aaron, say it.
Everyone's basically, someone said, yeah, it's going to go back to... No, I can't say it.
Oh, you... Basically, did someone say...
for the next episode, or we have to say it because you.
Yeah, you have to leave it, and then we can move on to it the next one.
Pronoun. You can leave it to be continued.
Cliffhangers.
No, basically, someone said, yeah, it's going to go back to Nigerians versus Caribbean.
I remember that. I saw that.
So, I would hate for that to happen.
But it's true. Because, no,
we don't know how...
We don't know yet. We don't know.
Let's say black people get lumped up with massive opportunities and they get the little money to eat, kind of bit like how people are eating on podcasts and whatnot now. What's gonna happen? That's where you're gonna see the real
snaky business.
That's where we start to see the real darkness within us in our community, because this isn't the battle yet. This is just
You're talking about
down the line.
given a rope. So if you've made it up to the mountain now,
Yeah, you have to give the rope to the
fellows. Yeah, are you giving a rope? Basically, crabs in a bucket.
How do you
Yes,
not feel about that?
this is where problems in the black community are really going to start rearing their head when everyone thinks it's all nice and lovely because a couple men are eating, and then it becomes a case of we've got some gatekeepers in the business now.
There's
We have to actually see how that goes though. We have to see these people rise up and
But
see
the
what they
thing
do.
is,
See what they do with their.
People aren't prepared for that even outcome. So it's kind of like when someone lacks into money and they go and blow on strips and cocaine. It's the same thing where as soon as people start eating, they start thinking it's because they're special and they start blocking doors.
Bro,
I'm
heart's
sending
pounding right now. What are you saying?
I'm saying, like success is where when things are good. That's when time it's hard to do the right thing when it's not the right thing. That's the problem.
You know what? It's been a good chat, you lot. This is about 1 hour and 21 minutes. It's been extended.
We should go for an hour more, and we cut it in two halves. So we do 2 parts to this.
You think?
What do you think? Because we missed out 2 weeks, innit?
Yeah. And there was still. The thing is that the questions are getting sidetracked so heavily that it's like
But
going back to.
That's what we get.
it's crazy though because it all
All of that in an hour, Chris, man. You gotta
No, what I'm saying, it all comes into each other, but I'm gonna cut it. Don't worry, I'll cut it. There's something I was gonna say. There's something I want to say if we're about tomorrow. There's something else I want to talk about, but I don't know, boy. It's gonna be a sticky one if I talk about it.
could you give
I'll give you something. It's kind of like interracial relationships.
Okay.
It's not. What do you know? What it is? Yeah, I'm gonna. No, Aaron. It's not gonna go left. There's some things that I've kind of like. So basically, all those people that are protesting, yeah, and you've seen those banners like Black Dick Matters, so don't take them away from us. There's something I want to talk about on that, but I will leave that for part 2, basically.
Sounds like a juicy one.
I'm with the shit.
But isn't that under kind of the same umbrella? What I don't want to get into is the theme of these next podcasts to kind of be similar, if that makes sense. Like,
No, shit.
just broken down in, like, if we have an episode, make it be split into 2. So if you want this to be an hour, say, okay, part 1 of the first hour of this, and then part 2, so we can kind of.
Actually, do you know what I can do then?
Open, as opposed to
Do you know what?
the theme.
Do you know what I can do then? Do you know what I'm gonna do, Jamzy? Actually, I'll speak to you after the podcast. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So that was the episode 3 that lasted 1 hour and 24 minutes. It's been a good one, chatting with the boys. Yeah, that was a lot of info from the guys, man. There's some stuff I learned in there that I didn't know from Jamzy, Louie, and Aaron. So
There's just been my mind has been changed by a couple things.
yeah, exactly.
When you're having a discussion, it's always good if your mind can get changed about certain things.
Exactly.
Not even get changed like specifically, but to open your mind to new routes. Like what Louie was saying about that whole thing. It was deep stuff. Man was coming like one anime done with the.
I'm the scout with the shining glass.
You know what? Louie come like he come like Eisen. He's been there before, done it. It's nothing now.
It's violent.
You know what? I don't know if we kept this too PC, but if you guys get Guam, aka Sin Blake 7, aka Fraud in Progress, in an episode to talk about this subject.
I would love to get Guam in, yeah, but I don't think he'll be on it. I don't think Guam will be on it.
We could all be in it. Like,
Nah.
it would be a bit too deep.
Nah, do you know what? It's been organized. Like everyone's had their point. They've cut off. Then the other person's had. I think it could work, but we'll see. I'll chat to him in a minute and see what he says.
People listening, I'm very principled in my movements because I understand when you start to deviate from structure, that's where
Louie's a liberal at heart. Don't get it twisted. Louie's very liberal. I know the true Louie, so
I'm liberal but militant. That's my thing.
Aaron, are you even about tomorrow? Cause I know you're working.
I'm about to roast it.
Cool. Alright. I'm gonna cut it off there. Everyone can just say their byes.
It's been emotional.
Remember Chris, I sent you remember Chris saying those voice notes? I might have to do like a side episode where I'm just riffing to the max, the full solo.
You might as well call it the 3D podcast, man.
Fridays, isn't it? You do Filthy Fridays.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Nah, seriously though, I think this has been a good one. So I'm gonna thank Jamzy. Do you want me to put your Twitter or anything under the link?
Yeah, you can put it there,
Oh yeah, you can follow me. It's 3D God.
I'll put you. Do you know what? I'll put you guys at in the SoundCloud link. I know Aaron don't really like. I don't know if Aaron wants me to do that. 'Cause I know he's a quiet guy, man. Yeah. So.
Like, don't follow me until you're ready. Like your eyes have to be open because we're fighting the glorious
Bro,
stuff.
all this guy does is
You need
chicks, like.
You need the tension eye to the tension hand eye to follow it.
I've got that millennium eye right now. My millennium eye.
To be fair, what you've been doing recently, is hounding Ninjala, fam. You need to.
Like that, and I'm trying to make personality.
All right. Thanks Aaron, thanks Jamzy, thanks Louie. Should see you tomorrow for part 2. And that's it. That's the conclusion of the episode. Share, like, subscribe.